Hi everyone, welcome back to today's video. For today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this super cute little card here. This is featuring the Pop of Pink Specialty Designer Series paper, which is going to be retiring. And I just really wanted to play with this paper, if I'm being 100% honest. I just really love this paper, and it just kind of hit me the other day that it is going to be retiring. So I wanted to do a fun little project using this paper before it's gone. So this is the card we're gonna make. I am going to change the grading in this one, and I'll talk a little bit about that when I start making the card. I'm gonna change it up just a little bit, but yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. We're making this card, it's just gonna have a different sentiment on there. Anyways, okay, whoops, let me stand this up over here. So we are going to be using the window shopping stamp set, and I'm going to use this happy birthday instead of the thank you. That thank you is from the Pop of Paradise, I think is what that stamp set's called. Let me look it up really quick. Yep, Pop of Paradise. So my sample, I used the thank you from Pop of Paradise. But if you look at this card, after I made it and looked at it a little bit more, these kind of look like a big bunch of balloons to me. So I thought that a happy birthday sentiment would probably go a little bit better with that. So I'm going to use this one from Window Shopping. I'm also going to be using my gold embossing powder, and then I just have my little embossing buddy here, and my Versamark ink is what I'm going to use to emboss with. I'm also using the layering circles framelits, and I'm using these two. So the second smallest and then the next size up, we're going to be using those two. Just pop those out so we know which ones we need. Then of course we're going to use the Pop of Paradise Designer Series paper. So I'm using this really fun confetti looking print. This is part of what makes it specialty paper is that it's got gold foiling on it. And then these two sheets are actually exactly the same. It's just the reverse. So I'm going to do some in the black print and some in the pink print. So we're going to be using that. And then for our actual card, we have 3 pieces here. I have a piece of basic black, which is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I have a piece of Whisper White, which is cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4, and then our standard size card base in Melon Mambo, which is cut at 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and cut out all of my little circles. So I am going to be cutting out 4 circles of each pattern, and I'm going to do 2 of the smaller ones and 2 of the larger ones. So since these two are exactly the same, I'm actually going to do 8 in this sheet, and then just flip them over depending on which pattern I want to use. And then this one doesn't actually have anything on the back. So again, I'm going to be doing 4, 2 small and 2 of the larger size. So just to demonstrate, I'm going to be using my Big Shot. So I'll show you guys one set, and then I'll just crank the rest through. Since it does take a minute, pull this towards myself. There we go. So I'm just going to put the cutting pads down, and then my paper, and then my 2 dies. And I shall put my cutting pad back on top, crank it through. Some people get really scared when they hear that noise. They think that it's breaking. It's not breaking. What it's actually doing is pressing the die into this bottom cutting plate, which is totally normal, absolutely expected. So you're not breaking anything, I promise. So now I have my 2 little circles. So again, I'm going to do 2 in each size in the 3 different patterns. So I will be right back. Okay, so now we have all of our little circles cut out. I'm going to set those off to the side, and actually no, what am I talking about? I'm not setting those off to the side. I need to grab my black piece of cardstock, and we're going to go ahead and start putting our little circles onto this black piece. So let me grab my adhesive. I'm going to be using Fast Fuse because I think that it stays the adhesive. Sorry if you guys can hear my chair squeaking and rolling around. because we're going to be layering a bunch of circles on top of each other, I really want to make sure that they don't go anywhere and that they're really gonna stay put. So fast fuse is what I'm going to use. Use whatever you have. If you have liquid glue, use a liquid glue. Snail will work fine. I think I don't see any reason why it won't. I just always know that fast fuse has never let me down before, so I'm gonna go ahead and use fast fuse. So to start off, all I'm really going to do is just kind of start placing these down where I think they might look best. The one thing that I will say is I started with doing a line kind of going diagonally where I wanted the circles to stop. And that way I was able to take that and then build upwards rather than trying to build down and get like a weird, not so pretty looking line, if that makes any sense. Hopefully you guys can understand what I'm talking about. And then this is really just however you want to do it. I think the best thing to do is kind of mix and match patterns as much as you can. These 3 different patterns, because of the different colors, they really pop off of each other. So I think just kind of mixing it up. You don't have to do anything special. I mean, like I said, it's completely up to you and what you think is going to look the best, and the design that you look and the design that you like and the style. Whatever look. As you can see, I'm just kind of placing things down and then moving them around. And you don't have to keep these where you initially put them. I'm just kind of doing this to get a rough idea of where I want my pieces to go. And then I'll kind of take a step back, and I don't really like that all 3 of these are right in a row. So maybe I will take this one and move it out and kind of put that right there. I think I like that a little bit more. Let me swap these 2. See how I feel about a lot. This is the part that I have a hard time with because of my my OCD, if that's what we want to contribute it to. I just don't like things being too matchy-matchy. That's totally just me and my personality. So maybe we'll actually pull this one up. No, I don't really particularly love that either. Okay, I'm gonna keep playing with this. I think I'm gonna scrap, mix them up, and then I'm gonna start all over again. But the whole idea is to play with it a little bit and get the design and the look that you are going to like. Okay, so I think that's good enough for me. I'm happy with that. So all I'm going to do is take this and kind of slide it. I'm just going to use this as a general reference. It'll probably get a little bit mixed up as I actually start to apply these down onto my card base, but I like to kind of have that just so I'm not, I mean, you guys saw how many times I was moving things around. I like to at least have a little bit of a reference so that I know essentially what I'm trying to go for. I may not make it there, but I have a general idea as to what I'm trying to accomplish. So all I'm going to do is start to put some adhesive on the back of my little circles and then adhere them down onto my card base. Okay, so I'm gonna stop really quick where I am. So now that I have my first row right here, I'm actually just gonna go and put some adhesive on my background piece, just to give me a little bit of extra support, if that's what we wanna call it, so that I can kind of like this piece, actually it's going to be this piece, I'm going to just barely put it on my card base, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to put adhesive on the back of this piece. So I would suggest, you don't have to do it over the whole thing. If you just have a little piece like that and you want to do it, I would suggest putting adhesive down all over the background that you have left. That way you know that it's for sure going to stick. That's just kind of a little thing that I came across as I was doing my sample that really did help me. Now back to putting all of these pieces. I can already tell they're not going to end up where I had them pieced out. So, you know, that's part of it. You just kind of play around, and as you do things, other things look better, I feel like. And that's totally fine. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. That one's stuck, so that's where it's gonna go. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep piecing all of these items together, and we shall see where we end up. Okay, so now I have all of my pieces down here, and I promise you, once you trim off the edges, it's probably going to look completely different. So if nothing else, I say just go with it. Just start putting things down. I mean, I am 110% a perfectionist and OCD. I could probably sit here for hours trying to piece these pieces together perfectly. And you can do that, but it's just gonna drive you crazy, I promise. So when in doubt, just go for it, stick it down, and it's going to change. The look is going to change once you start cutting off the edges. I mean, you can see some of these, I'm taking a ton off as I'm cutting. So all I did was flip the piece over, and I'm just cutting anything that's hanging over the edge. I'm gonna just trim that off, just like so. And I wish I had my other scissors because they do a better job at this, but I think they are probably buried under all of the stuff on my desk. So I'm just going with these scissors for right now. I have tons of stuff on my desk right now. As I'm doing this and cleaning this up, I wanted to mention really fast that I do still have my paper share. If you didn't see my video from a couple of days ago, I am doing a paper share for the new annual catalog. So if you are interested in it, it's $27. You get 125 sheets of paper, and it'll be sent to you hopefully within the next couple of weeks. I can place the order on the 1st when the new catalog launches, and then I'll get it sent right out to you. So I've already had quite a few people participate and join, which I'm super excited about. So if you are one of those people, thank you so much. I cannot wait for you guys to get your hands on this. And if you haven't signed up yet, what are you waiting for? Make sure you go do that. Also, speaking of the new annual catalog, if you need a copy of our new catalog, please make sure to let me know via email, or you can head over to my website and contact me there. I will get one sent right out to you. I've already sent a bunch out. I still have some. Okay, sorry about that. My husband came home and the dogs freaked out. Anyways, as I was saying, paper share is still up there. It's only a week for the pre-order, so make sure you do that. And then annual catalogs, if you need one, let me know. I'll send one right out to you. I've already got them packaged up and ready to go. Well, not kind of. You'll get like a cute personalized card and everything too. Anyways, if you need one, just let me know. Back to this card. So now what I'm going to do is take my embossing powder, and I'm gonna need a little scratch piece of paper. We are gonna take, ooh, excuse me, our stamp set and use the Happy Birthday. I love that stamp set. The Thanks for Being a Great Friend. I used that on a card that I showed you guys recently, and now I'm using this Happy Birthday. I just really like the style of those, of the set. So I've had that for a while, and I hadn't really looked at it until recently, and I really, really like it. So anyways, I'm going to take my embossing buddy because I'm using black cardstock. I just don't want any of the embossing powder to stick to it. Also because I'm using black cardstock, you can see the embossing powder more right now, but I'll clean that off once I am done. So I'm gonna just take my Versamark, get my stamp all nice and inked up, and I'm gonna stamp it right here in the bottom right hand corner, just like so. Okay. Then I'm going to fold this piece of paper in half. Take my piece here and my gold embossing powder. I'm using gold because the paper has gold in it, the DSP that we're using, but you could obviously use whatever embossing, whatever color you had. You can use that. This is just my choice. So, okay, there's that. Let's go ahead and clean this up. put this back on before I spill it because that will inevitably happen. And now I'm just going to go ahead and grab my heat tool and heat set this. Okay, so this is now heat set, and then I think I was still recording. I just took a semi-damp baby wipe. You can use a paper towel or whatever, and just removed all of the embossing buddy from the background. So that just wipes off super easy. You never have to worry about that. I know some people are like, oh, I don't want to put that on black cardstock because it's going to show up. It's not. It wipes right off. So now I'm just going to take my fast fuse again because I just have it laying here and might as well use it. There is also quite a bit of weight to the top of this card, so it's probably not a bad idea to go ahead and use fast fuse and just put a little bit of extra adhesive on the on this piece so that it stays nicely. I am going to just put this down on our white piece of cardstock. Just like that. It's a little crooked, but I think we'll be okay. And then here I just have my card base. Whoa, that's not what I meant to grab. And we'll just fold this bad boy in half. Again, put down some adhesive and stick our stick this down on our card base. Oh my gosh, I am so tongue-tied today. And there's our super duper cute card. I hope you guys enjoy this one. I absolutely love this. And you guys, I don't know if you guys can see, but to me this looks like a bunch of balloons, and with the happy birthday, I think it's just absolutely adorable. So again, this paper is only going to be available for a short time. We're almost to the new catalog, which means all of this stuff is going to be retiring. So if you're interested in getting some of this DSP, make sure you head over and pick some up. Also, speaking of designer series paper, if you are interested, make sure you go and head over to participate in my paper share. All of the information is on my blog, and the listing is on Etsy, as well as, like I mentioned a little bit ago, if you need a new catalog, make sure you let me know that as well. That is all of my announcements, my PSA for the day. So, hey, that rhymed. Good going. Anyways, I hope you guys are having an awesome day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!